is this the biggest scheme of Urban Meyer trying to get out of the hot trash can? That is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome to Her Sports Convo with Ashleigh Wilson.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Crazy to see you here again. I hope you had a good week last week. I hope you have a good week this week. Happy spooky season. It's October. I know, I can't believe it either. Where did 2021 go? Because it felt like it literally flew by. But we are here. It's Halloween Town season. Let me know what you plan on dressing up as. If you plan on dressing up as something, someone, an idea, be creative. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments. If not, you can always DM me because I'm always, chit-chatting it up in there at Her Sports Convo on all the social medias. But when we come to talking about sports, I feel like this week was kind of boring. Like, don't come for me if your team won at, the Giants, the Jets, and I think that's it. Because the Lions didn't win. So if you're those teams, I know you had a great week when it came to NFL Sunday. Great week. If you're a basketball fan, the NBA preseason started this week. If you're a baseball fan, especially a Yankees fan, y'all got into the wild card. I know, such a baseball girl now. Come for me, don't please. If you're a WNBA fan, we're cracking down on the finals and the semifinals. And I'm excited. Like, I've really been tapped in to these semifinals games, and they've been good. I'm solely tapped in for the reason because I want Candace Parker to bring the championship back to her city on the first year. She was in LA for her entire career, and then this year she decided to come back home to Chicago, and I really want her to bring that championship back to the sky. Like, I just think that would be muy gracio. Oh, I don't think that's how you say it, but we're gonna keep going on. I just think that'd be so good because, like, it gives her new commercial, because I love her commercial, playing off like, who is that? Who are they talking about? With Fernando Tatis Jr. and all those other people in that video, but they're talking about our girl Candace. So best of luck to the Chicago Sky. In my time on Tuesday, they have their game 4, which Chicago can, bring it home, go to the finals today. I hope that happens, as well as, the Mercury. I loved the thing Chris Paul did for them by buying those 500 tickets, and the Suns, moved their game so that the Mercury could play on their own home court, which I thought was kind of weird how they weren't even going to play on their own home court during their actual playoffs. Like, I just thought that was weird, but, money speaks, and some people, for some reason, don't think that the WNBA can make money, but we're not going to get on that soapbox today because we just don't have the time. So stick around, subscribe, holler at your girl if you would like me to go on about that. But getting to the NFL, oh boy, I am going to be completely honest. I was slightly not tapped in on Sunday. I was not really doing anything. I was just so bored. The games that I watched were, the Cowboys smacking down on the Panthers, which, it was fun to see. Who doesn't love, Trayvon Diggs and all them? And I watched the Steelers, which was sad. It was so sad. Like, it was so sad. I felt so bad for them. Not in the way that, like, you feel bad for, like, someone who's doing good, but the way you feel bad for, like, a team that did so well last year. Like, they were 11-0, then they lost to the Washington football team, and then they lost back-to-back to the Cleveland Browns. And I feel like ever since then, they just really haven't gotten it together, because you've seen that clip of Juju, and he's, like, slamming down the Windows 8 whatever tablet, and some people, like, dubbed it over or made it seem like he was saying this is Ben's fault, which, if you look at it, that's definitely not what he's saying. Like, I can't read lips, but I know that's not what he's saying. And there's just so much going on. Like, people are saying, like, Ben needs to take a look at a mirror, because Ben did come out and say that they need to get it together, that, people aren't doing their job and people aren't, basically living up to the hype. And I'm not saying Ben had no reason to continue his tenure at the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, but his time is coming to an end, and I think he's developing the old man complex, which is something that is a problem that Tom Brady has created. Let's all be honest. It's a problem that Tom Brady, LeBron, any older athlete in any sport, from Diana Taurasi to Subert, to all these incredible athletes who are basically could be some of the players are playing with parents almost at this point, if they were teen parents, but whatever, it's possible. It's possible. It's not as crazy as it was back in the day when they first started their careers, but they're playing at these high levels, the people I aforementioned, and they're making people who, like, Mr. Phillip Rivers, who recently retired and is now a high school football coach, which good for him. We're proud of you, Phillip. And Mr. Ben Roethlisberger, who, look at his counterparts, Tom Brady and such, and the guy from the Chargers who plays on the O-line. They see them and they're like, oh, they're doing it, so I can do it too. But the thing Mr. Ben doesn't recognize is that they're doing it well. They're doing it well. And you're not, Ben. They're doing it well. Tom, all of them. They're doing it well. They're still competing at a very high level at their age. But Ben, you're not doing that no more, baby. You're not doing that no more. And sometimes you got to hand over the wristband. You got to hand over the wristband. Ben, you got to hand over the wristband, my brother. And it's fine. It's fine. Like, you did so much for the city of Pittsburgh. And now they have a great team. I have no idea who their backup quarterback is. Is it that same guy that Myles Garrett, ripped his helmet off last year? I'm pretty sure it probably still is, right? Mason something. I'm pretty sure it is. Don't tell me. Or you can tell me. I don't care. They can figure out. You got Najee Harris, you got Juju, you got Chase Moore. Those young guys can figure it out. But I feel like Ben is trying to create old ways and do it, the way Ben did it back in the day. And Mike Tomlin is trying to push the team forward with the new group of guys he's bringing in every year. And there's a misconnection. And I feel like everyone thinks they're on the same page, but as they're sitting around 1-3, they know they're not on the same page. When the camera was spanning toward at the end of the game, you could see all their faces being like, bro, we're really 1-3. This is crazy. And it really is crazy because I truly think that the Steelers should be at least, 3-2 at that. More likely probably 4-1, but they're just really struggling. I wish I could fill it out for them. If you're a Steelers fan, I'm so sorry because you had such high highs last season and now you're literally at the bottom of the barrel. But you could be at the bottom of the barrel, which is where, the home of the Detroit Lions are at with their 0-4 start, which is very unfortunate. I saw something on Twitter today and I got Twitter shocked and I got punked on Twitter. Because I thought it was real, but turned out it was fake. It was, how people change their icon and change the name to be an actual brand, but the @ is still the same of a fake account. That's what it was, and I got punked. But it was oh, the Lions coach is now, getting down in the snow because the coffee isn't doing it for him anymore. And I was like, what? That's crazy, broski. But then it turned out that I looked at it, took a double take, saw it wasn't real. I ended up sending it to Sam anyway because I wanted to see was she going to figure it out too? And she did. Good job, Sam. You're a good one out there. I wouldn't have been shocked if it was real because, he's the WWE man. He's on a different kind of high that no one else, I think, can address. May it be from straight adrenaline or, a substance of some kind. And Sunday Night Football, I feel like we couldn't even not talk about Sunday Night Football. I mean, from the Adele commercial to the ever-loving storyline of Tom Brady comes back home. And I mean, it was fun. They had all the dramatics. They had, the close game the entire time. It was raining. It, kind of looked like it was cold, looked like some fog. It had all the things to make it dramatic. But the one thing that particularly stood out to me, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but how when they go to commercial and they show the Sunday Night Football logo, and then they usually have a group of players from one team, the star group players from the other team on the little screen, it'd be versus. Why was it specifically Tom Brady for Tampa Bay and Bill Belichick for the Patriots? I've never seen that before. I've seen a lot of players leave teams and come back, but no one's ever had a coach and a player on the little outro screen before the commercials, or Like, I've never seen that before. That completely shocked me. And I'm like, somebody else has to realize that this is not normal and address this. But I was the only one who saw it on the internet, or at least cared to bring it up. So let me know if you saw it or if you also thought that was strange, because I was like, is this strange to anybody else? Like, this is wild out here, people. You know what I mean? Brady did what Brady always does, and he brought the Buccaneers back, and they won. And shout out to Richard Sherman. You know, he had a great game. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had like, a day and a half of practice, and he still managed to come out there and really give it his best shot. I mean, he wasn't great, because I mean, he's been sitting around for a few days, more like a few months to a year. But he's been sitting around, and he had a great game. You know, he missed a few plays here and there. He got a few flags. But like he tweeted out earlier, I have, very good projections in future for Mr. Sherman and his time at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And maybe there could be possibly a ring in his future. I don't know. But they did a great job. Like, the Buccaneers, they did a good job of continuing to play. Like, because I feel like with Brady, you can, especially if you're on defense, you're like, okay, it is what it is. Tom is going to fix it on offense. It's fine or whatever. I felt like that's very easy to do, especially if, Tom Brady's your quarterback. But they didn't do that, even though they could, because they were like really struggling on defense that first half. But they really pulled it together. They, controlled Mac Jones's box, controlled their receivers. And shout out to the Harry guy for the Patriots. Harry, not in bodily Harry, but Harry as in that was his last name, who wore number 1. Because I personally was like, why is number 1 like being a wide receiver? Because that was his number, and I just automatically now associate that number with Cam Newton, because that's what he wore there. So I thought it was fun, but I give him big props for choosing that number coming to the Patriots. Or yeah, he had to be coming to the Patriots, or like be on the Patriots and change his number. But I thought it was a good game. I mean, the Patriots, Mac Jones did a great job for being a beige quarterback. I don't mean beige as in his skin color, by the way. I mean beige as in his football quarterbacking abilities. It's just, I don't go to Mac Jones and expect him to, run 15 yards and then come the next play and run away from the defensive lineman and then chuck it down the field for 80 yards. Like, I just don't expect that from him. Can he do it? Yes. But I mean, I just don't expect that from him. Him, Derek Carr, there's like a few quarterbacks in the league that I just, if it happened, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm shocked, but I wouldn't expect it to happen in that particular situation. He made a very good case for himself, because the Sunday Night Football commentators even said, like, Mac wasn't even supposed to be the starter. It was supposed to be Cam. They, changed it or whatever. I still would like to know the real tea. I did watch Cam Newton's video about that, but I feel like, what everyone says, each side has their story, but somewhere in between there lies the truth. And I would like to know the in between there situation. I'm 1,000% sure we'll never know, but maybe one day we'll find out. 30 for 30, a little docu-series would let us in on that information. But I'm happy for Mac Jones. I still don't really vibe with the Patriots. I mean, it's just, Bill Belichick just gives me the vibe, like evil movie villain. Like, the same vibe I get from Dabo is the same energy I get from Bill Belichick. Like, something over here just ain't right, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but you're a movie villain in the movie of real life. I just see it. I see it. I can't unsee it. We're talking about coaches. Since we're over here talking about coaches, I think it would be a complete crime for us not to talk about Mr. Urban Meyer. So, as we all know, the Jacksonville Jaguars still lost this week. They have not managed to win a game. Urban went to Ohio. He owns a bar at Ohio State, and he claims, allegedly, that he was at a nice dinner with his family, minus his wife, because his wife literally posted a picture of herself at home babysitting the children, the grandchildren, not the actual children. He claims he was at this nice dinner. These girls came in and drug him out of the restaurant and took him to the bar and was like dancing all up on him. Now, do I think it happened like that? No, I don't think anyone believes it happened like that. But there is video footage of this girl backing it up on Urban Meyer, And he came out in a statement saying like he should have been better and he should not put himself in that situation. And even the GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars came out and put out a statement like, condemning his actions. But my personal question here is this the biggest scheme of Urban Meyer trying to get out of the hot trash can that is the Jacksonville Jaguars? I mean, because Urban even said himself when he worked for Fox, I think that what it was, like the Fox College show or whatever, he said that it was like the signs of like a bad football team or the signs that like it's time to leave or change up your program or fire a coach or something along those lines of what we all assume Urban Meyer is trying to do, is that there's selfishness, which some people might say you going out to a bar, you even going out, to a dinner with friends of family or family friends when your team is 0-4 right after you became 0-4 isn't good. Just me, probably. And the other one was a dysfunctional environment, which now you've probably created a dysfunctional environment with the entire media asking you about the girl who like backed it up on you at the bar last weekend. And the last one is trust issues, which I don't really see how trust issues can come in. But again, I can kind of see trust issues because like that Jacksonville sideline, every time something bad happens, he's like head over, toes bent over, look like he's like at the saddest event in the world. Like, could you be a player on his team and his body language is that bad? Like, I know I couldn't, because you respond to how their nonverbal signs are how people feel about you in the situation y'all are all collectively in. Because we're 0-4, but they were really close to finally getting that win against Cincinnati. And then homie went up there and kicked the field goal and they won the game. But aside from that point, they were actually in the game. And if you've seen the little like graph that they do on like the win probability, Jacksonville had like a good amount of humps in that. And I just think that there's a lot of drama going on in Jacksonville, and Urban is just trying to finesse his way out of Jacksonville. He's trying the I'm a bad husband scenario now and seeing if that one's going to stick. And I think it might. I think if it was 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, that one would have sticked and he would have been out by a week ago, because, he'll hit us with the I need time to focus on my family right now situation. 5 years ago, that one would have worked. Nowadays, I'm like, maybe not. Maybe not, solely because of the turnover, how fast it would need to be. I don't think that one would have sticked as well. But I just also think it's kind of weird how everyone's like, how there's like a few people who's like, he needs to be fired because why would he do that? And I mean, what he does between the lines with especially his like relationship with his wife or his family, like I don't see how that has anything to do with how he coaches a football team. Now, if it was a different scenario, like, I mean, if he did cheat on his wife, what did that have anything to do with football? Because some things people do outside of football does recall for repercussions in their job. 100%, I 100% agree. Because even if we take the sport, the game of football out of this situation, if Urban Meyer was, the owner still, which he is the owner of the Urban Meyer bar, and a girl was backing it up on him, she was of age, it was 100% consensual, at the club he was working at, no one would be like, he needs to be fired and not own this bar anymore. But now a few people, it's not a lot, because, the people of Jacksonville, they're from Florida. They have a good time, not for a long time. So they're not really going crazy about this, but I just saw a few of those and I'm like, I don't understand the correlation of why he needs to be fired. And I would like to wrap up our lovely good episode this week talking about our feel good moment of the week. I know, who's shocked that I remembered the new segment I brought in last week. Now, will I remember this a few weeks from now? Probably not. But the feel good moment goes to our good old friend, Mr. Teddy Bridgewater, because one of his teammates posted a story on their Instagram about how, people are put into your life at different scenarios in different situations and times, and you never know how that's going to work out, good or bad or ugly. That really didn't have to do with the story. But as you notice at the end of like every football game, there's like a group of players who goes to the middle of the field and they pray. And one of the guys for the Denver team who does that a lot, he was actually asked to be in an interview for a game. And so he missed, the little prayer circle moment. And Teddy, a good friend that Teddy is, waited for him so they could have the little prayer circle moment together. Now, isn't that just so cute? So cute. I love that. He waited for him. How fun is that? Just a good little lighthearted moment to brighten up our days. And I just also think that Teddy Bridgewater is so fun. I saw a TikTok, I think it was a TikTok, a reel. They're all relatively the same thing. And it was of this guy, and he was like ranking the NFL quarterbacks of like their likability. And Teddy Bridgewater was like not at the top of that list. And I was very confused. Like, it's Teddy Bridgewater. Like, who doesn't like Teddy? Teddy has upset no one. Like, any place Teddy went, when he was in Minnesota, who hated Teddy? No one. When he was in New Orleans, who hated Teddy? No one. When he was in Carolina, who hated Teddy? No one. Like, I just don't understand if people don't like Teddy. Like, it's Teddy Bridgewater. Nicest guy, arguably, on the planet. And he shows that week in and week out with the cameras, and probably without the cameras, I'm going to assume, because he doesn't give off the vibes like I'm a flashy guy, But that's all I got for this week. Make sure to like, comment, rate, subscribe wherever you decide to listen to your podcast at. Head on over to Instagram and follow at Her Sports Convo to stay up to date on all things Her Sports Convo. Check out the YouTube channel, Her Sports Convo. I post new videos up there every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're dipping our toe back into basketball season. We're dipping our toe right into the NFL and college football, a little information, fun facts you would like to know, and maybe could possibly use in a trivia game. I don't know. Enlighten yourself. Check them out. And also, if you're not listening or watching to this on the podcast channel, go over there, subscribe to that as well. And you can watch me talk to our guest and to myself if that's something you would be interested in. The new podcast episodes go live up there every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to stay up to date on all things Her Sports Convo on the Instagram. I post it up there not as frequently as I used to because I just can't find things to post. So if there's something you would like me to do exclusively on the Instagram, let me know on Instagram at Her Sports Convo, or you can leave it down here on the YouTube comments. Anywhere else, just let me know. I'm very open to ideas of things that you would like to see on Instagram, by the way. But that's it. As always, be safe, have fun, and don't be afraid to join the convo.